So I've been making games for about 20 years. I've worked on just about every platform since the Game Boy. And at Other Ocean, we've worked on a lot of games. Probably worked on about 120 games. The guys over here in the Emeryville studio have worked on games with Capcom like Street Fighter. Working with Paramount's been great. We really trust one another. So when we were setting out to do this game and do something a little bit different, they understood it 100%. We chose to go with 2D for War of the Worlds. We could have easily done a 3D side-scrolling game.
This game is a love letter from us back to Flashback and Out of This World and Heart of Darkness. These games came out around 1991, and since then, the game industry has changed dramatically. Mike has managed to keep a really firm grasp on what made those games great.
What gave those games a very distinct look was this method called rotoscoping, where they would actually film live actors against a solid backdrop and do all the moves in the game and then draw over that.
In today's gaming world, a lot of people use mocap, a lot of people use a lot of 3D models to do their animation. We felt that that just wasn't enough, so we decided to go ahead with rotoscoping because it's very specific to this style and to this genre.
The other reason to go with 2D on a technical note is that we can throw a lot at the screen. Like the 360 and the PS3 particularly are built to just, the processing itself can throw so many 2D objects at the screen that something you never would have seen before on, say, a Genesis or an old PC. We're using a parallaxing, which is an old school term to describe depth in a game, to like background elements move slower than foreground elements.
Every single piece in the game needs to be placed very specifically. It needs to be given a sort value and a parallax value. Where in 3D games, you just place them in the scene and the engine does it all for you.
And our game has about 250 layers of parallax at our disposal, and a lot of the older games would have about 4, maybe 3. This gives us the illusion of 3D without being 3D.
If we were working in 3D, the engine would take care of everything. In this game, the artist needs to take care of everything.
We have moments where the screen is filled with hundreds and hundreds of NPCs running down streets, or falling off buildings, or buildings collapsing and debris flying everywhere. That's just possible now, something we could never have done effectively back in the 90s.
The Tripod Chase, it's one of my favorites because we really just wanted to show that there's this one man who doesn't have a lot, and he's just a regular human, and he needs to survive in all of this chaos.
From day one, we wanted to create a game that was an homage to some of these older 16-bit style games. One of the best things about those games, you die often. If you get shot, you're dead. There's no health bar. This is more realistic. Because of that, the game is really difficult, and we as gamers appreciate that.
I think we've got a very unique vision for this. It's a very unique game.
I couldn't be happier with the way it looks and feels and the colors we've chosen for the game.